This new album is Adore. I would like to ask you if you adore this new album.
No, I like it, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Was it really hard for you to work on this album after such a tremendous success with Melancholy?
No.
Not too.
No, I actually felt very relaxed.
Really?
Yeah. I think I was more worried about making a really good album, because I feel like we've made really good albums, and if we made a bad album, it would seem, you could tell the difference. So that was my main concern. But I wasn't worried about the pressure. In fact, I tried to purposely not think about it, because it would just make you start thinking silly things.
Actually, when have you started to work on this album? Right after the tour, your last tour?
Roughly February of '97, but more August of '97. Did a little bit in February and then more in August. And then, So
Smashing Pumpkins existed now since 10 years, we could say.
Yeah.
What have you experienced through all these years, I mean, regarding of human and personality? What have these 10 years have brought up to you in terms of human and personality in your life? Besides success, I would say, of course, and little troubles that you've had among your bands.
It's a great lesson in reality, because the world is very kind of fickle. And when you're young, you think all you have to do is be good or great, and that's good enough. And it's not really true. Being a great musician is not important. Being a great songwriter is not important.
That's important, being a great songwriter.
It is, but there's a lot of great songwriters, you know. There's a lot of great bands. But you start to see that what people really care about is record sales, money, you know, how many people you bring into a place. It's a kind of a lesson in reality, how the world really works, and how things are deemed important and not important. It kind of makes you sad in one way, but in a way it makes you see things for the way that they really are, and probably makes you more of an honest person. So, but you grow up a lot. You grow up real fast.
You said for this album is a dream. Kinda.
Yeah.
Is this album the musical projection of your dreams? Musical projection of your dreams.
In a way, I would say, because it really expresses how I really feel, and I think probably more so than any album we've done, it expresses how I feel without worrying about the world, what the world thinks, and whether or not anyone's going to jump up and down to it.
I know that the fans of Smashing Pumpkins can either listen to metal and dance music. Is this musical diversity belong to the band itself? Are you guys listening to different kind of music, not only rock or...
Yeah, we listen to a lot of different types of music, but I think it's not so much about what we listen to so much as what we appreciate. We never looked at one form of music as above another. You know, there's great punk bands, there's great metal bands, there's great blues bands, and I think we always tried to look at it as what made things good and what made things bad. And what seems to make things good is a certain sense of purity, and what seems to make things bad is when people think they have to do something that they don't really believe in.
I know that you like bands like The Verve, Radiohead, and some English bands. Do you think that England is the heart of a certain musical phenomenon nowadays? No?
No.
A lot of people would say that the sound of Smashing Pumpkins sound English and not even American.
I disagree.
You disagree? Why? Can you explain about it? Do you think that actually there is two different sounds between American rock and English rock music?
I don't really think like that. I mean, to me, Oasis is very American. So how can you really say, you know, a lot of the Verve music is based on American music from the 70s. So I don't really think of it as one thing or the other, you know. Basically, everyone's ripped off the blues artists from the 50s, and we're still making a living off them.
Many rock bands today are more in melancholic kind of, you know, style. Do you think that, well, do you agree with that, that melancholy is among all the new rock bands? No, you don't think so?
No.
The Verve said, I'm melancholic. Radiohead said, I'm in melancholic kind of music. Why do you think today people are very melancholic and kids really like these kind of melancholic bands? More than back to the 70s with the glam rock,
Yeah,
who doesn't exist anymore.
But I think so many kids are listening to club music and electronic music, which to me seems very happy and very upbeat. So I don't know. I don't. When I listen to the Radiohead, I don't think of it as sad music. So you mean?
It makes me feel. It makes you feel it's happy music.
No, I don't. But I don't see it as sad or happy. See, I think oftentimes people try to say, well, something is happy, something is sad. I don't think it's either. You know, when I listen to Radiohead, I think it represents life in a way. And life is not necessarily sad or happy. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think people often confuse emotional music with sad music, and I don't think of it that way. People always try to tell the Smashing Pumpkins that we make sad music, and I don't think we make sad music.
Kurt Cobain often repeated that the future of rock will belong to the woman. Do you agree with that? No?
No.
A lot of women are doing rock. Darcy, of course, Garbage, Tori Amos, Kim Gordon, all these women.
Well, we're in a honeymoon period in a way with people kind of enjoying the idea that women are involved in rock, but really all it is what the way that it should be, which is women should equally participate in rock and music making as much as men. And I think once people get over the idea that there's a Tori Amos, you know, I mean, there's really no difference between someone like Tori Amos and someone like me.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that she's a woman, you know, it may seem novel today, but I think in 5 years it shouldn't be novel at all. I mean, Joni Mitchell made great music in 1970.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there weren't more Joni Mitchells, but I think we're reaching a point now where there's just as many Fiona Apples and Tori Amoses as there are Billy Corgans and Eddie Vedders, and that's the way it should be. So to me, it's not a trend. It's a trend only in the sense that it's only creating equality where there should always be equality. Women should have just as much a say in musical creation as men.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it should be about men, and it shouldn't be just about women.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about Garbage. I was talking about Garbage. I know that Butch Vig used to produce your first albums. What do you think of his work with Garbage? And actually, what do you like the latest album of Garbage?
Yeah. I think they're tremendous. I think Garbage is like a one-of-a-kind kind of band.
Mm-hmm. I would like to talk a little about your image, the aesthetical image of Smashing Pumpkins through
Is there an image?
videos on stage. You have very specific look, and your
think so?
very beautiful pictures, beautiful videos. Is this as important as your musical creation?
No.
No, really?
No. I don't know. It's just fun.
Would you be ready to direct someday a video of...
Oh, I have directed.
Really?
Yeah, you just never saw it.
Really?
Yeah.
And what about the one Tonight? We could see the Melies face.
Yeah.
Was it a personal choice, or I guess this is... I don't remember the director of this video.
Oh, Jonathan and Valerie.
Oh, okay. So it was a personal choice.
Well,
Melies.
it was their suggestion, but I had all of those films, and so that one's a really long story. So
Really?
unless you want the long story.
No, but do you like Melies? The image
Oh yeah.
of Melies?
Oh yeah.
Actually, who started with videos. He founded videos.
Yeah.
And can you say 2-3 words about the new one that we are seeing actually on MCM? That's a
very strange
one. Gothic, a little of Gothic. And very well directed, of course. The image is beautiful.
I think we're just trying to do something very different with the video, you know. Try to break up. Most videos these days have, 1,000 edits.
Yep.
We hate all the edits in the video, so by kind of doing a one-take video, we thought it would be more interesting to kind of keep your eyes on the people the whole time, and there seems to be more intensity in the video than a normal video, so we're just trying to do something different, as usual.
I remember that you were the soundtrack of the Batman movie. With time, what do you remember from this experience? And will you will you try another experience with movies for less Hollywood movie, I would say? Smaller one.
Yeah, I was very disappointed with Batman, honestly.
Yeah, but the music was cool. The movie was like a long video, I would say.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even so much about the movie as I was just disappointed in all the politics of being involved in such a big movie. I do get offered movies all the time, but we've only done 3 movie soundtracks in 10 years, so we don't do that many.
You have been on tour for almost 2 years all over the world with the last album. What have you experienced through this very tiring and long tour that you will use for this new tour, for example, on stage or within the other members of the band?
I think one thing we've learned from playing all over the world is that people just want to hear good music, that they come to the concert expecting kind of like a music video, and you have to realize you can't really give them that. There's no way that you can compete with a video. So the only other choice you have is to be very interesting musically and very expressive musically. So we put most of our energy live into just playing music, and that seems to work very well, and it seems to translate through all different cultures, languages, and, you know, social climates.
Well, I'm telling you guys, Billy Corgan, the leader of Smashing Pumpkins, he is so talented and so beautiful. I don't know what you think about it, but I like him. I hope you liked it, and I say bye.